Thank you all for your support of AALDEF. I'd like to thank my Sanofi colleagues for being here tonight, my friends from Pfizer, my friends at law firms. I'd like to thank my entire family. In fact, my father and brother just flew back from Seoul, Korea, so they could be with us. And of course, I'd like to thank my wife, Diana, and my 3 children, Ethan, and Catherine. I'll tell that story later. Thanks also to Heidi for her very kind remarks. It was actually about a year ago that Heidi called me to tell me about this recognition, and I was so surprised to hear from her. And of course, incredibly honored. So I was really excited to tell my family about the news that night. And as I was telling them this news over dinner, I can tell that they were stunned. They stopped eating, and one of my children looked up at me and said, "Why you?" And I agreed that there are many more people who are far more deserving of this recognition than me. And I try to explain that I've been an avid supporter of the excellent work that AALDEF has done for a number of years, but they didn't seem very convinced. And thankfully, one of my other children broke the silence and said, "But Dad, why would you accept this award? You don't like public speaking." So they know me very well. And what I told them was this. I came to the States back in 1977 as a 10-year-old. I was very happy in Korea, and the thought of moving to a foreign country never crossed my mind. Actually, my parents were doing quite well in Korea. They ran a profitable rice distribution and retail business, as Koreans tend to eat a lot of rice. But for them, they were determined that their 3 children, I have a younger brother, Sung, and a younger sister, Jang, must be educated in the US. They thought that English is the global language and that the best universities in the world were in the US. So with that determination, they left their lives of comfort in Korea and set off to America, a land where they didn't know the language or the culture. And we first settled in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, where we were the only Asian family. They thought that this would help us assimilate more quickly. So we struggled. And I remember Mrs. Landis, who was my 5th grade teacher at PS 104, staying with me after school to teach me English. I don't know where she got those workbooks, and I remained so grateful to her. And about a year later, my parents bought a fruit and vegetable store on 90th Street and 2nd Avenue. It was called the Irvin Vegetable. So we moved to the Upper East Side, and the whole family pitched in, whether it was stocking fruits, vegetables, or groceries, working at the register, or making deliveries. I remember getting up 3 in the morning on some days during summers to accompany my father to the Hunts Point Market. That's where we bought fruits and vegetables wholesale. And as I learned English earlier than my parents, I remember helping them negotiate leases and solve problems with the Department of Consumer Affairs, among many other things. I also remember dreading all of those things while my friends enjoyed carefree summers and weekends. But consistent with their work ethic, my parents expected academic excellence. One of their tactics was to touch the back of the TV when they returned home at nights. If it was warm, we were in trouble. But really, they would just encourage us to do well in school, as that was the reason we came to America. So as I look back over the course of my career, I've now come to realize that all those times that I've dreaded, helping my parents solve problems, have helped me become a better lawyer. And I've also received the benefit of having great managers. Managers like Heidi, Marguerite Sells, Amy Schulman, Doug Lankler, and now Karen Lanahan, and so many others who've taken chances on me and given me opportunities for growth. Opportunities that I wasn't sure that I was ready for. And just like my parents, I approached these opportunities with diligence, positive attitude, and confidence that I could figure things out. So, as you can see, I've been the recipient of a lot of help during the course of my life. And it's only natural to help others, especially the recent immigrants who need a hand. So I told my children, yes, while I generally avoid the spotlight, I want to accept this award as a way to help my neighbors, and I want to accept this award to recognize the sacrifices that my parents made for our benefit. 어머님, 아버님, 감사합니다. Thank you, everyone.